All right, so buckle up, everybody, because we are diving deep, deep into episode 6 of Agatha All Along. And let me tell you something. This is not going to be like your average, origin story.
Yeah, we're seeing here is fascinating, right? It's like this episode takes what seems like a very minor character, Billy Maximoff.
Right.
And really thrusts him into the spotlight.
Yeah.
We're talking about like a deep, deep dive into his connection to Wanda, his powers, and honestly, like the mysteries that could reshape like the entire MCU.
So we open with a young William Kaplan.
Okay.
Who's about to celebrate his bar mitzvah.
Right.
Everything seems totally normal, like pretty standard, right? And then bam, out of nowhere, car crash.
Oh, what?
Throws everything into chaos. William dies, and this is where things get really, really interesting.
Right.
Because it's in this moment of tragedy that Billy Maximoff's soul, at least seemingly, enters William's body.
It's wild, right? And it's like in that moment of loss, Billy's essence is just like drawn in.
Yeah.
Seeking refuge or something.
Oh, absolutely. And you can imagine, right? Waking up in a new body, no memories of your past life.
Oh, we'll talk about jarring.
Jarring, right. And on top of that, even the family dog Greg, he senses that something's off.
Oh, really?
Barks at Billy like he's a complete stranger. It's like even animals can sense that some kind of magical shift has taken place.
See, that detail about the dog, that's crucial because it tells us that this isn't just like some psychological thing happening here.
Yeah.
We're talking about a supernatural element.
Right.
At play. Something primal. Even animals pick up on it. It makes you think, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's the relationship between souls and magic?
Right.
Was Billy's arrival just a random fluke? Or was it like part of some bigger picture? We don't know.
So years pass, Billy. He grows up.
Right.
But he just can't shake this feeling that something isn't quite right. Like he's living someone else's life, which, of course, he admits to later on when he says, I'm not William Kaplan, at least not entirely.
It's true. And that growing self-awareness, right? It's only made worse by his powers. The fact that he can hear others' thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about feeling like an outsider. He's literally living in other people's heads. It's actually a recurring theme for characters who get tangled up in Wanda's magic.
Right.
This feeling of displacement, of not belonging, like you're not quite yourself.
And remember how Billy's been researching the Westview anomaly this whole time, like trying to put together these fragments of his past? Well, his investigation leads him to a certain Ralph Bohner, the same Ralph Bohner who, as we all know, played the fake Pietro. And then he claims that Wanda's dead, Vision's being dismantled, the twins are gone.
It's a lot to process.
It's a lot.
A lot.
Oh.
And you can't help but wonder what it does to Billy,
Yeah.
Because he's finally starting to see the connections to his own past, his family, the whole web Agatha's been weaving. You could practically see those puzzle pieces clicking into place for him.
Especially when Bonner mentions Tommy.
Oh, yeah.
His speedster brother. And it's almost like you can hear that record scratch moment for Billy.
Yes.
That name, that power, it suddenly clicks.
Right, that connection to Tommy. That's huge, GE. Don't forget, right at the beginning, when Billy first wakes up in William's body, what does he do? He cries out for Tommy.
Yeah.
A name he shouldn't have any way of knowing.
Right.
Which suggests that their bond, whatever it is, goes way beyond the physical. A connection so strong that death, even magic, can't sever it.
Right.
What do you make of that?
Okay, that gives me chills.
Right?
Because what if their connection, it really is something more, something even beyond just magic. It makes you wonder, like, what does that mean for their powers, their destinies even?
It's the question, isn't it? And this episode, it just keeps adding these layers.
It does. We see Billy researching. There's this whole montage, these flashing images of Wanda, Vision, the twins. It's like he's piecing together these home videos of a life he can barely remember. And then there's the music playing over that whole scene. The Ballad of the Witch's Road.
Talk about foreshadowing. Which, of course, brings us to Billy's encounter with Agatha herself.
Yeah, he just shows up on her doorstep.
I love it.
Breaks into her house, but not to steal anything.
Oh,
he's there to perform a spell. He's trying to break whatever hold she's under.
It's almost poetic when you think about it. Total role reversal. Agatha, who's still pretending to be that clueless detective.
Right.
She's the one being tricked this time.
Yeah.
By a teenager, no less.
Total power shift. Billy breaks free from her control, and for the first time, we see him fully embrace who he really is.
I love this part.
Billy Maximoff, son of Wanda.
And her reaction, Agatha's reaction, priceless. She goes from confused to annoyed to like, is that Kishimatadam's sensing? It's like she sees that spark in him, the same power, the defiance that Wanda has.
Oh, totally. And honestly, that's where we're going to have to leave things for today.
No.
But trust me, this dynamic. This is about to get a whole lot more interesting, especially as they start their little journey down the witch's road.
I can't wait.
And that, my friends, is a wrap on our deep dive into episode 6 of Agatha All Along.